appeared in, I think, Leslie's illustrated newspaper that shows Weed's battery eye firing across the Potomac. And I'd love to see if we can find that exact spot. And you could probably line it up because it shows the mill buildings and everything else. So, C&O Canal owns along the riverbank, but the bluffs above, I'm not sure. I don't know.
They own a certain way up.
There's a part of the way up.
Okay, part of the way up. So
Kevin and I explored that several years ago.
Yeah.
We actually found the road that they used to come down to the ford.
Oh, really?
We'll take you back there.
Yeah.
All right.
Private property, but the owners are friends.
Okay.
I couldn't hear you back there. Were the Confederates over here?
Confederates were using, this is the 19th now. Pendleton had set up his cannon to protect the crossing, which is downriver, maybe a couple hundred yards. Yeah, I know. I'm just answering a quick question. So.
All right, so you're off. I'll go on real quick. All right. Let's see here. Everybody got me? Got me? Okay. Yeah, so if you want to look on your maps, just to get oriented where we are, really any of the maps will do. But chronologically following along with where we are, I'm on page 19. And if you locate, so you want the river behind you, of course. There's the river on the other side of the road. And if you locate Potomac Mill, and there's a P, like a parking lot P, right across the road from that, we are standing basically right there, where that parking lot P is. So this is ravine number 1 that half of Barnes's brigade used to get up onto the bluffs. This is usually the route I take people to get up onto where we were. So the house where we were, and the ground where we were, just on the, you can actually see where the trees kind of end. That opens up into the field where the house is that we were standing in. This is not the ravine that the 118th Pennsylvania used. That was further down. Just to give you an idea of the bluff, since I don't think the buses are going to be going, well, I know the buses are not going back that way. This is a post-war photograph taken of the bluffs further down. So again, you can see, just to give you, I know pictures don't really do it justice with the scale, but from where we are to the top of that bluff, if you look through the trees, that's how tall these bluffs are. And the further west you go, the closer towards Shepherdstown you get, they are, again, vertical cliffs.
And that photograph was taken from the other side of the river?
That's correct. It was taken from Maryland looking over here. Yeah, this rock formation is still very apparent today.
Okay.
You know where to look. It's just further down. We can't see it right now, but it is still there. Just to get you oriented as well, and some people had some questions about the buildings. So this was Boteler's cement mill at the time of the Civil War that was begun in the 1820s. The building that we passed is, we think, maybe the office building. This is, of course, one of the lime kilns that is here. I've often heard this referred to as the test kiln, so probably the first one that they had here on the site. We are going to go back over the road in just a second. You'll see the mill, but the mill building is directly behind you. And then as you look at the river as well, so if you're looking toward the river, Boteler's Ford is to your right. But you will see a straight line of rapids through the river to your left front. That's the mill dam that crossed, well, the remnants of the dam, that crossed the Potomac River. And when the 118th Pennsylvania was being driven back, again, remember, AP Hill's division is swarming the bluffs overlooking the river, not only in the area where the 118th Pennsylvania was and trying to come down that ravine, but by this point, Gregg's and Thomas's brigades have driven off Ward and Lovell as well. And so they're holding on to the bluffs overlooking the intersection of Trough Road and River Road, so the Pennsylvanians can't get to the ford. Instead, what they had to do is go across the mill dam, which was basically made with large wooden crates filled with rock, and then there was a covering of wood over the top of that. But the mill had been out of operation for about a year at this point. In August 1861, the 13th Massachusetts burned the mill building, the wooden superstructure above the stone, and so the mill wasn't in operation. So the mill dam was not a perfect, well, it never would have been, but it was not a great place to cross. The wood was incredibly slippery. As well, there was what was called a fishway between the Virginia shore and the start of the dam to allow fish to come through along the river, so the Pennsylvanians had to swim across that. And of course, they're doing all this while they're getting shot at as they're making their way back across the river. Anything you guys want to add here? Then we'll go across the road real quick.
Just real quick.
Yeah, and a lot of them probably didn't know how to swim.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to talk about the films down here.
Oh, okay, go.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking about those, as a matter of fact.
We're getting it. Oh, can you?
Am I on? All right. Unfortunately, we won't have time to get to it, but there's photographs available. There are 6 kilns that kind of look like this, but they're built into the bank, roughly where the man in the orange shirt is, just beyond that. And there is a story of the 118th after they came down the ravine and the bluffs and they made it to that point. The Federal artillery opens up again, okay, basically to provide cover, but again, shells begin falling short. And there is a section that is Civil War and a section that is post-Civil War. When you look at them, you can tell the difference. If you look at the original section, in that center kiln, there was a shell that exploded and killed several men in it. And what's rare about this is when you go to a battlefield, you know that this unit fought on this field and the man was killed somewhere in here. There's literally a specific spot we know that men lost their lives. So, and I should add to this, the kilns are in really, really rough shape. You can kind of see how they're beginning to deteriorate. This has been accelerated on that Civil War kiln, and I think they got a quote to stabilize it. It was $500,000. So again, if you're interested in this battle and you feel like donating, that's the kind of things that we're trying to preserve. It's quite a sight.
Is a kiln used for making bricks? No.
Cement.
Cement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what were they doing? Making cement blocks and then shipping them out on the canal, or
It's
what?
all cement because, the
Powder.
business got started because of the canal, because they had to construct all the locks and things with stone. And actually you can heat the limestone to a point where the cement will actually harden underwater, what they call water cement essentially. And that's necessary because when they're building the canal and putting those locks and things in, there's water all over the place. So this was supplying the C&O Canal. That's why they created the mill. Now there's rumors that all sorts of buildings in Washington, D.C. have cement in it from the Boteler cement mill. The Washington Monument supposedly has cement in it from this mill. Who knows? You want me to talk about Donaldson's escape? Yeah. Okay. We talked about Captain Donaldson up on the hill, that he was a veteran. He was trying to fight his regiment. He gets down off the bluff, and he actually is looking to cross over the dam with Confederates up on the cliffs shooting down at anybody who tries it. And he escapes. I'll give you his wording from the book. As I turned to start, Private John Fisher of my company, who had all along followed me closely, now ran to a dead man laying at the water's edge and pulling off his overcoat, brought it to me and throwing it over my shoulders, buttoned it around my neck, saying that I would surely be killed for the reason of my bright shoulder straps and officer's uniform and sword. And so he gets across the mill dam with some difficulty, but he does make it out alive. And when he gets to the other side, who does he run into? Lieutenant Colonel Gwynn, the guy who was trying to tell him how to fight his company.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I will give Lieutenant Colonel Gwynn this. Basically, he comes up to Lieutenant Colonel Gwynn, and Gwynn basically admits that he was wrong and says that you were doing a good job and I was wrong to interfere and I apologize. So whatever Gwynn did that was wrong, at least he was man enough to own up to it. And Donaldson goes on.
All right, yeah. All right, we're gonna do the switcheroo again. All right, you all hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, wow, that was the first one. I think we got all the way.
Perfect. Okay. So just to wrap up and conclude everything with the Battle of Shepherdstown, just to give you some numbers, as I talked about yesterday during my talk, this is the largest battle that was fought within the modern confines of West Virginia, and I say that because, again, in September 1862, this was still Virginia at that time. But by my estimate, I'd say about 10,000 soldiers engaged between the 2 days and under fire. Even though AP Hill's division gets the lion's share of the credit, and rightfully so, there is another Confederate division that backed them up. closer to the intersection of Trough Road and Engel-Mollers Road, and they did come under some artillery fire and suffer a few casualties as well. But mostly, again, it's Hill's division. But overall, in terms of the casualties, for the Federal side, it's Civil War numbers, so they're never going to be perfect. We probably all have different numbers between the three of us. But 71 men killed for the Federals, 161 wounded, and 131 missing. So a total of 363. Of those Union casualties, of course, most of them are from the ranks of the 118th Pennsylvania. So 63 out of the 71 killed on the Federal side were in the 118th Pennsylvania. 101 of the 161 wounded were in the 118th Pennsylvania. And all the missing and captured, most of them, were 118th Pennsylvania. So the regiment as a whole suffered losses of about 37%. They were their casualties made up almost 75% of all Federal casualties on this battlefield. And about 40% of all casualties spread between both sides. So it's an incredibly large loss for one particular unit at this battlefield. And I am happy to be corrected and proven wrong, but I've never seen another battle where one unit suffers that high percentage of losses as compared to everybody else that's engaged.
Do we know what part of Pennsylvania that unit came from?
Philadelphia. They were straight out of Philadelphia. Yep.
Hey, Kevin, did they retreat down this ravine here?
Some of them did, yes.
Okay.
Not the 118.
Where did they come?
They were that ravine.
Oh,
They were
that
the
down there,
ravine further
okay.
down. Yeah. Yep. Confederate losses: 33 killed, 252 wounded. Most of those are, of course, in A.P. Hill's division. 30 killed, 231 wounded overall. And Hill's division, as I mentioned, maintained their positions on top of the bluffs throughout the remainder of the day, under the hot sun and under the fire of the Federal artillery that kept pestering them from across the way the entire day. And then, once sunset on September 20th, Hill's division pulled back and began the march back up toward Williamsport. But again, pretty quickly, Robert E. Lee determined that his army was just not in a condition to complete that march. And so, Tom and I were talking about this earlier with a few of you, debating this. When exactly does Lee call it quits on the Maryland campaign? It's hard to say, but it's not long after this battle is over, when he realizes that he's simply just run the wheels off of his army. Now, the story doesn't end here, and Tom talked about the memory that the men of the 118th Pennsylvania had. Some of the Confederate soldiers said there's one soldier that talked about just how horrifying of a battle this was from a visual spectacle of soldiers plunging down cliffs, running in the river, getting shot at. And his quote was, "I shudder even now in recalling it," and that was 41 years after this battle. So the memory lingered with people for a long, long time. For the men of the 118th Pennsylvania, who were brand new to the Army and just had their baptism of fire, they were stuck looking back across the Potomac River from the Maryland side the remainder of the day on September 20th, and they could see their dead and wounded comrades littering the field, littering the ravine, littering the riverside. And that was probably, of course, a very difficult thing for them to fathom and for them to understand. The next day, on Sunday, September 21st, one man of the 118th Pennsylvania decided to take it upon himself to try and recover as many of the bodies of the dead and wounded as he possibly can. He was Lieutenant Lemuel Crocker, a giant of a man, both in personality and just in size. Here he is. Crocker buckled on his officer's uniform, his sash, his sword, and without a flag of truce, without anything, he began crossing at the mill dam. And one by one, made his way up onto the bluffs to secure as many of the bodies of the men of the 118th Pennsylvania as he possibly could. He made multiple trips back and forth. Of course, each trip as he made his way back to the Maryland side, he was looking worse, with blood-stained uniforms, dirty cheeks, dirty face from this task. Eventually, word got up the Union High Command about what Crocker was doing. And again, this was not done under any formal flag of truce at all. But Crocker continued on his task. At one point, Fitzjohn Porter sent word down to the riverbank that if Crocker continued to cross, that he would shell him. He would order his guns to open fire on Crocker as he made his way back across the river. Crocker's response was shell and be damned. So Crocker continued. When he got over here, eventually the Confederates sort of, I think, caught on to what he was doing. And one who Crocker later related was a Confederate general, we think probably maybe Fitzhugh Lee, was down here with the Confederate cavalry and spoke to Crocker and asked him what he was doing, and Crocker explained, and then asked Crocker, how long have you been in the Army? And Crocker's response was 20 days. To which this Confederate officer replied something to the effect of, I thought so. Recognizing that this is not how things happen. And I think also pointing to the fact that the 118th Pennsylvania were green soldiers, and they just had not experienced what it was like to lose a comrade yet. And I think that's part of what drove Crocker's mission of humanity across the way here. Now what's incredible about this story is this is not, I gave one of my first tours that I ever gave with the Shepherdstown Battlefield. I told this story and had somebody in the audience raise their hand and ask me, where'd you get that story? It's about the regimental history of the 118th Pennsylvania. When was that written? So, you know, decades after the war. That's just post-war bullshit. That's literally what he told me. So I've taken it upon myself. It's mentioned contemporaneously. Crocker writes several letters about it. Donaldson mentions it in his letters. This is absolutely real stuff. And I've always said, you want to start a campaign, this guy deserves a Medal of Honor.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. In my opinion. And there were 2 Medals of Honor that were received here. One on the 19th with first name Cassius Peck. Peck, yes, of the sharpshooters, and then Daniel Webster Burke of the 2nd United States Infantry received his on the 20th, down closer to the road intersection. But Crocker, I think, definitely deserves to be the 3rd member of the Medal of Honor class of the Battle of Shepherdstown, so to speak. So just wanted to wrap everything up. Again, in essence, what you can say and what we've been saying all weekend. The bloodiest single day in American military history is fought along the banks of Antietam Creek. But the outcome of the campaign was not decided there, but instead here at Shepherdstown, where finally both armies saw that they were exhausted, needed time to rest and recover and refit. And it wasn't until September 20th that was decided here along the banks of the Potomac River, about a mile downstream from Shepherdstown. So, anything else? Hold on 1 second. Tom, where'd the other Tom go? Oh, there you are. You blend in with the tree. Anything else to add?
No, just thank you all for coming out, and this was really, really special. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good question. Did the Confederate officer let Crocker continue his duty? Yes. Yep. So Crocker didn't get everybody, but he got officers' bodies first, and then started bringing more dead back to the riverside. They just watched him, basically.
Did anybody else come down and help him?
So I have.
There was a surgeon.
Yeah, a surgeon and a few members of the Philadelphia Sanitary Commission were with the Army as well, and they, I think, crossed over the same time as Crocker did. So, but mostly it was Crocker by himself, without orders.
Folks, before you break up and head back to the bus, there is a bin here. We want you to put your sound gear in that bin. You can undo your earpieces, just throw them to one side separately, and then just put these inside the bin. Okay, please do that before you go back to the bus. And let's get a group photograph. We want anybody who's interested in being in the group photograph just to move forward against that bank. We're gonna have the ruins of the hell that is up
He carried him back to the
Over that dam?
Hey, mint condition. 1998.
Oh!
Well, this is my dominant. I was standing there.
All right, sit, everybody.
Hang on. Wait a minute, hang on a second. The stragglers still have it. Would not be easy to retreat down the street.
All right, hey fellas, you want in the picture?
Thumbs up. Don't worry about it. Stragglers. Come on, guys.
Stick it in here.
I need this end to squeeze a little bit.
There's room, you guys scoot down.
Squeeze in a little bit. Squeeze in a little bit, Tom. All right, you ready? No. You can't see me, I can't see you. Ready? 1, 2, 3. In a minute, damn it. 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm gonna get one more here. All right, 1, 2, 3. Thanks.
Thank you.
Somewhere they said there was a bin. I haven't seen the bin yet.
I haven't either.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah, 45 minutes sometime. 4:08 right now.
Yeah, so I'm thinking whatever time we get back to
45 minutes.
Who didn't pick up their water bottle? Don't trash America.
Oh, the new museum, yeah. Yeah, I live up there.
Okay.
You were saying he's gonna come down and do the whole thing, and we were cracking up. Yeah. The personality type of wanting to go explore.
Days long.
Yeah, yes. This is incredible. I didn't even really notice that when we were walking over that structure. Wow. Yeah, I didn't even really see it. I was looking at it all.
But they're not straight up and down. There is one place in that scene there where the
I think a big part of this too is what time of year was it, right? Is that covered in snow or is it?
Oh, it's September.
Was it September?
September.
Yeah.
Open and
Yeah,
clear
like this.
I remember when I came here with Dennis many, many years ago, he showed you where the Confederate we walked up these hills, up about to that level.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And of course we decided nobody's going to keep walking.
rifle, all your stuff.
One thing was the maps make it the fighting did take place relatively close to the road. One thing was up in the field and down the
Which bus is this?
That's where that marker is.
That's him. That's him.
Get the ramp, they gotta get the ramp.
But I'm just looking for people, see if I recognize anybody.
Boy, this is, once again, it's extreme. Weather is extreme. And the lines of communication, to communication,
Yeah.
they got these big breaks, I don't know how they.
Are they coming down or not?
Yeah, that's a mystery.
It's like waving with the guys to, they see me? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just like during the battle.
I was going to ask somebody. Right, they must keep them somewhere.
You're going to say, who's carrying bedding?
Yeah, right. Whose bed sheets were those?
Who's got a tent down? We can use. Later with your winter coat. I didn't know too much. This was too much. When I go walking with my wife, I always tell her, take it off. Not everything. Don't get me wrong.
Can't put anything else on.
Halfway through the walk, carrying 3 minutes for you on open work.
There's much less wind there.
The front
has passed.
Was it 2 years ago were you on the
Out of Harrisonburg, it rained.
Thursday? Yeah, it was cold and rainy on Thursday. We were walking up a slippery hill. And these guys were amazing because they were taking these boxes way up the hill.
Tom, what are you doing? Oh my God.
Yeah.
William.
Okay.
Yes, one day I did be there when they did the tour of the Carter Farm first time around. I did put that together because I had 3 times. That's how long it's called. Kids, life,
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah, I was going to say, somehow I remember Maine sweeping up streets. Well, there is the video now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
now it's just like 7 guys getting together. So either a restaurant or Wolverine's living from one or the other. I've heard those stories, but it's just like Eddie comes up and goes in and like where you get 6, 7 people together and talk to get it in London. Nobody's done anything. So there was like 7 guys getting together. That's his idea. It's awesome.
Sir?